What's up, gorgeous folks? Marco the Blitzman here again, and this is the Lower Frontplay channel. Today we'll be taking a look at the balance changes for the next season. That will be season 5. I'll go over the balance changes, point out the more interesting ones, and rate the changes that I have any expertise to rate. Because obviously I haven't played every single tank in this game. But anyway, right now we are starting with the Germans. As you can see, I'll probably just edit the balance changes, pictures over some kind of replay. The first tank we have to analyze is the mouse. The mouse, I don't know why even. Just look at it. The reload time gets shortened by not even half a second, and the scatter factor is... It's the balance change for the sake of changes. It doesn't really do anything special. That's pointless. And it's kind of a recurring thing, don't you think? Many balance changes are being made just for sake of changing things over and over. It's terrible because the new players will have a harder time learning to play the actual game. Grill 15, well, it's a good change. It basically kind of fixes the crapped mobility of this thing and slightly increases the reload time, decreases the reload time, which increases the DPM, which is always nice. KPZ 50T, I have no experience with that thing, but it's nothing significant. Once again, I think it's the change for the sake of changes. Oh wait, the gold shell is getting less than 300 mils of pen now. Yeah, that's pretty bad actually. VK90, I actually own this one and I don't understand why is this change a thing. Like, look at this. 5.1 second aim time, yeah, it's a bit lower, but at the same time scatter factor gets increased, so this basically irons each other. These two changes iron each other out, and the turret traverse is worse now, which is bad because, you know, this tank's thing was being the responsive and quick to react heavy. They kinda taking it away right now. And the VK7201, why did they increase the reload time? It was bad enough already, and they will probably increase it to the E100 as well. The penetration got changed just for sake of changes. Again. Yeah, I don't like these changes at all. The next page is still on Germans. Well, leopard. Leopard. Reload time is getting increased, HP decreased. It's basically a flat nerf to this tank, except for the max reverse speed. I don't like this change. I don't think this is doing a lot, but I don't like it. Next, the E100. See what they're trying to do. They're trying to do 128mm gun more viable, but everybody's still just gonna use the 152 because of the big bonk, me included. The alpha gets decreased. The reload time is better on the 128, that's interesting. Basically 152 will now get even less DPM. Power to weight ratio slight increase. Oh, and the hull traverse is getting decreased with 152. Basically, yeah, they're trying to make the 128 more viable. Basically, everyone will just keep using 152 anyway. And I don't think that really was necessary. I think they should just buff the 128 instead of downplaying the 152. Which wasn't overpowered in my opinion at all. The E50M. Reload time 6.9 seconds to 6.52. It's nice. Shell speed gets decreased. Now that's pretty bad because some of us will have to use the supercharger. And this means longer reload, what I'm saying, no, not the reload time, longer aim time when fully equipped. Why didn't they just nerf the aim time straight up? I don't know, but that's a weird change. Reactive armor consumable and better side armor, and the turret cheeks are better. The outer cheeks, the side cheeks, that's extremely good. But then again, this is a very insignificant armor change. I like it, it's more scrapable now, but still, did anyone really need more armor on the A50M? But I like the reload time change. Yeah, basically kinda trading some of the aim time for reload time here. If you take the supercharger, or you just accept your shells flying slower, and I guess it's doable. Just have to adapt. But then again, the APCR standard shell likes to bounce all over the place, and lowering the speed means lowering the accuracy, so it's a buff that I don't like, but reactive armor consumable is a nice option. I think this might actually be able to simply push through any medium flank without any issues, thanks to that consumable and the armor that is great enough already. After the balance changes, I'm going to do the tank review of E50M. I think it's a sweet medium tank. And now the Jageru. I love the Jageru as it is now. It's my favorite tier 10 tank destroyer, and the hit points change pisses me off, because the hit points were kind of the thing for the Jageru, you know? The hit points were the, the character trait of this tank, basically. It doesn't have the best TD hit points anymore. I think it should have a lot of hit points because it's a huge vehicle, and it's kind of the German Tech Tree's thing to have a lot of hit points. So yeah, the reload time is also getting worse by not even a second. Just why? It's unnecessary, but alright. And the aim time is worse. This is actually crap. I hate long aim time vehicles, and yeah, they just made my Jageru flat worse. The upper structure armor getting buffed by 10 mils, but I don't care. I play this tank for the gun and not the armor, and the gun gets hands down worse. So yeah, I don't like the German balance changes. The Japanese balance changes now. Oh well. The STB gets nerfed once again, shells are flying slower, similarly to the E50M, but it's not as bad as E50M. Max speed increase, power weight, air rate to decrease. Nobody needed these balance changes to the STB1. I don't see the point. Type 71. This is just stupid. The reload time gets increased while this tank's DPM was low enough at this point. Alpha of the gold shell gets increased, so you are just getting told to gold spam right now. I don't like the fact that the alpha of gold shells gets increased over and over. And this isn't the healthy change for this game. I think that the great thing about Blitz was that the gold shells deal significantly less damage than World of Tanks PC. And the penetration gets increased. Let's be honest here, the penetration was fine as it was, nobody needed more penetration on Type 71. Once again, changes for sake of changes. Okay, the hurry now. Shell speed gets increased, that's nice. Real time, once again, it's shorter, so I'm not complaining, but it's not a big change. The scatter factor when the cannon is getting handled is slightly lower. Yeah, I don't have anything to say about these changes, these are just unnecessary. M48 Patton, Gear Roll Provisions and Reactive Armor consumable, that's nice. That's a nice buff. And the real time gets increased, not a big deal. For these consumables and provisions I can live with the slightly lower reload. The 325 pilot. Alright, I guess. Slight buff to this little fella, I like that. M60. Is that the collector M60? I think. Yeah. The speed of the shell gets decreased once again for no reason. The reload time gets increased, but you get the sandbags and improved engine boost. That's fine. Shuridan gets a penetration increase, max speed increase, alpha damage gets higher, scatter factor gets bigger, and power to weight ratio is lower. So the Shuridan is gonna be a tiny bit more scary than it is now. Well, okay, it's not that bad, it's just unnecessary once again. And the T-57 heavy. Why is it getting nerfed again? It's already the worst version of the Yo. And the last batch of American tanks, Concept 1B. Scatter factor of the gun gets decreased and the reload time gets decreased. I don't think Concept 1B needed any buffs, but these are so slight, you can let it slide. XM66F. Alright, these are insignificant. T110E4. That's a slight nerf, but the aiming time gets increased and it gets sandbags. Sandbags are nice, good for day 4, the aim time is better. Yeah, I don't mind the changes, these are actually pretty nice. And the decreased rotation speed means that it's more vulnerable to medium and light tanks attacks, which is actually a nice balance change, I would say. I like that. Congratulations for gaming, single balance change I like. So, the next one is T110E3. I have never played this tank and I don't know anything about it, but it gets a bit more gold pen, rotation speed gets lower, and aim time is longer, so it's just less responsive for more gold pen, and it's less mobile, it's less likely to rotate on the flankers. I would say that's fine. It's already a heavy armor turtle. Oh yeah, also we have one more panel of Americans to go through, sorry about that. The M60 120mm aim time gets increased, that's good. This means it's less likely to absolutely demolish you with the real quick two-shot dump. aim time 2.5 also gets increased massively. And the armor gets slightly nerfed. That's a good nerf to the Yo. That's exactly what I wanted. And the part weight ratio of the T95E6 gets decreased while rotation speed increased, and the armor gets a thicker cupola. That's actually nice. Alright. Now the French. M449 gets a simple armor nerf and reactive armor. That's good. The 50B gets increased aim time. This is bad. Clippers shouldn't get increased aim time like this when it's already kinda huge. Unless it's a double shot Yo, then it absolutely shouldn't be able to dump the shell so as quickly as it is for as much damage. 30B is alright. That's a nice change, but then again the reload time is getting bigger, so like that. FCM50Z. That's interesting. This tank used to be like the worst tier 8 premium, but now with sandbags, improved engine boost and nice reload time decrease, I think it's good. I'm looking forward to this. Alright, Chatillon 25T. Increase of the reload time, scatter factor gets increased. It's a flat nerve basically. I don't get why the APCR standard shell conversion is unnecessary. Oh yeah, and the 100mm gun gets kinda better if you care about that. And the armor gets nerfed, which is not very good because the high explosive shells are going to pen you more. That's a great change. I think that batches were nice and strong as they were. And the Foch 155. You can see the balance changes on the card. I don't know a thing about Foch, so I won't really say a lot about it. Now off to the British. The Godzilla gets slight nerf to its accuracy and the shell speed and aim time, so basically the accuracy will be worse. I mean, that's just Godzilla, the gun handling wasn't good anyway. $4,005 gets. Yeah, the sheet barn is also getting slightly nerfed. That's nice, these vehicles are annoying. Maybe less folks will play it after the nerf, because the 183 is the most played tier 10. And that leads to annoying matchmaking with every team having the 183. The 217 will get slightly nerfed. Aside from the forward speed. High rotation is a big deal there, so I think it's more of a nerf than a buff. And the view range, who cares about view range on TDs? When you're alone you might actually care about it. And the 15B. Slight HP buff. The aim time is bigger. Longer aim time isn't good change, and the lower aim time It's always a good change, and the high rate time is always a bad change straight up, because you're gonna feel it the most, as you might have seen in my 8.8mm video. The FV4202 gets a better aim time, bigger scatter factor, which is, yeah, it's kinda ironing each other out. The penetration gets decreased on standard shells. Unfortunate. Vickers light is getting hash. That's all I need to say. Hash is great. Super Conqueror, well, it's getting slightly nerfed with its responsiveness overall. Reverse speed is getting worse, even worse than it already was. It wasn't good at all. Reload time is getting lower, that's good. And the dispersion decreases and reactive armor gets acquired, so it's more bricky, it's more solid right now, it's tankier. Fine by me. Chieftain Mark 6, rotation speed gets decreased quite significantly. The aim time is increased, which is not good. Scatter factor gets increased as well, so the gun handling will feel a little more iffy. The penetration gets decreased. Hold on, APCR gets what to hash? It gets hash. So your penetration will suck overall, but you will get hash. This becomes an interesting vehicle. And tungsten with hash and German provisions, that's gonna be dangerous. If this thing flanks you, I'm sad for you. A very interesting change. I wonder how it will play out. Let's now move over to the Chinese. 113 GFT. Alright, that's an interesting change. Engine power gets slower, reload time gets higher, but the alpha damage increases, so, and the rotation speed is lower. So I guess it's more of a troll tank now. Acceptable change. Chinese light tank 1321. View range is increased, is always good. Reload time is slower now, so a better reload time, better max reverse speed, and gear oil provisions. That's a good change. I like this one. WZ121. So the tier 3, what I'm saying, tech 3 medium, tier 10. Reload time gets increased actually. Turret rotation speed is also worse, and power to weight ratio is better, and the reactive armor consumable is added. The problem with consumables is that it already has tungsten, so you would have to sacrifice it or the adrenaline to use the reactive armor. So it's basically a nerf that gives you a bit of choice with consumables. I don't like that. WZ113, so the tier 10 heavy. Good change. Always nice to see more hit points. The power to weight ratio I don't think is gonna affect it all that much. WZ1115A, so the collector I believe. More hit points, better dispersion, worse power to weight ratio, and the hull rotation gets better. This is gonna feel nicer to play actually. I like that. And the final batch of the Chineses, 114 SP2 gets more armor, that's good. The cupola is still a weak spot, so I don't mind having the turret turret that's so stupidly thick. 121B. I don't know a thing about this tank, but you can see the changes right here. Make of that what you will. And the Type 59. A buff. That is nice to see. Adaptive concealment mechanic. That's gonna be actually. This is going to be a great vehicle now. So look out for those changes. And we have a whole lot of changes to Soviet vehicles. IS-7 getting its armor slightly nerfed. That's fine by me. T-62A. Shell speed decrease once again. So the mediums all over the place are getting lower shell speed. This isn't good. Not good at all. The 777. Oh yeah, it's alright. It's kind of faster and has a bit lower real time. Once again, some changes are just in sake of changes, I think. T100 LT gets slightly buffed. It didn't really need that buff, but alright, it's not huge. But the real time gets lower, so yeah, that's actually a bit of a bigger buff that I would like for it. It didn't need any buffs. And the object 907. Alright, so slight quality of life changes, then the rotation speed gets scrapped. Unneeded. Next one, well, IS-8 and ST-1 lose gold pen. That's bad. I don't think they needed to lose that pen, even if that was a lot of penetration. I don't think they needed that. Object 268/4. I would like its lower front plate to get a little softer, but I guess the penetration buff is weird. I don't know what they're doing with this tank. I don't like it as it is right now, and they're not trying to balance it any better. Object 260, I don't know anything about this tank, and the 268 gets slightly less dispersion, less gold pen, and less standard pen, plus the rotation speed gets decreased. That's not good, but it's fine. It's not a big deal, and the tank's biggest advantage you get is the camo values, which are extremely high. So that is nice. Object 29263. Shell speed gets decreased. Horizontal aiming angles get changed, so it gets more gun depression. That's insanity. So it's even better than it is right now. This is slowly becoming the most overpowered tank destroyer, even though it's open top. The IS-4 gets a bit more armor. It's not enough. It's not enough of an armor buff, but it gets more hit points, more DPM as the real time increases, and the power to weight ratio is better now. So they're trying to make it a speedy boy. I can live with that. but still I don't like the as far as it is now. It doesn't really perform like heavy tank. T22 medium. Once again, every medium is getting slower shell speed. The dispersion gets higher. Tungsten shells and lower reload time and more mobility. The armor gets increased. Looks like the T22 is going back into the meta. In my opinion, it was strong enough as this, but oh well, I guess we're getting that. Thanks for gaming. European Tech Tree. Well, Krang gets more alpha and way lower interclip. Alright, the Krang gets busted now. 60 TP, lower heart rotation speed, lower backward speed, higher power to weight ratio, and the gold shipment is increased. Who needed these changes? They're kinda neutral. Progetto 65, reduced top speed, reduced gun depression, that's not good. Reload time gets worse slightly for the second and first shell. I don't like that it's getting worse for the second shell because the game should encourage you to double shot those auto reloaders. And it gets the combat stabilization mechanic. That's gonna be scary, but now I understand. It's going to hit those double shots more accurately, that's why they needed to make the reload time on second shell worse. That's an interesting change, and actually I think this might come out for better for the tank. Rhino gets more dispersion and more hit points, who cares. CS63, adaptive concealment mechanic. Wow, this tank may actually become interesting. But I wish they applied the mechanic to the entire line. Stridswagen K, I have no idea about this tank, how it performs, so you can see the changes on the panel. The Minotauro gets its lower plate absolutely demolished, like, come on man. Its entire thing was that it was well armored and it loses it. I don't like this. I don't like this. Especially though these little dinguses there were the weak spot on the lower plate and they were hittable. Reload time gets slightly better. I guess it's nice. And the adaptive, the shell reload consumable gets added. That's a nice thing. I like that. But the armor nerf doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. And the CC64 gets... Oh, that's actually a good change. The lower plate on this one should be softer and the top armor gets actually better. The cheeks are worse. Yeah, CC64 was actually overpowered due to it having a regular old gun. And the reload time on this regular gun gets increased, so yes, that's a nice nerf for the CC64. I'm down for it. And the last panel we have, the TVP gets more alpha and slightly larger reload time, it's fine. VZ55 looks like it's getting less alpha for... Oh, the reload time is absolutely... What the hell is that reload time change? Alright, these are some weird changes for the VZ. the Caro 45T gets a gunpowder provision, Kirol provision. Yeah, the Caro 45T will now become slightly better. I like that. Emil 2 gets less penetration on the main shell and the shell speed gets increased. Well, that was a very mediocre change to end the video on. So that was the balance changes video and my opinions on how these balance changes are. I expect some tank reviews after the balance changes drop. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you feel well informed right now about what to expect from the next update. Cheers!